Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Beyond Keto. I am super excited to be here with you all today and to discuss this incredibly important topic. Hopefully you guys are, I can see everybody joining in. Thank you for being here. If you're watching live, if you'll just tell us hashtag live and where you're watching from. If you're watching on replay, I would love to see you put where you're watching from as well. I'm getting everything set up here. I've got my phone over here so I can watch comments coming in. And if you all have questions, feel free to put them in the comments. If I don't see them while I'm live, I will make sure that I get back and answer those questions for you. So we will go ahead and jump in. Today we are going to be talking about what's actually driving your blood pressure. All right. So if you have ever looked at your blood pressure numbers and you've thought to yourself, where in the world did that come from? All right. This session is going to finally make everything click. All right. Because your blood pressure is not rising out of nowhere. All right. It's not just random. It's your body reacting to something. And most people think that high blood pressure is about salt. Okay, that's what we've always been taught. Or possibly stress, which stress can affect it, right? Or getting older. But the real changes happen inside your blood vessels long before a machine ever even gives you a reading. So today I'm going to show you what happens inside your body. First of all, when inflammation rises, okay, when insulin levels stay high, and when your arteries get stiff. And more importantly, I'm going to show you what happens in order to be able to reverse that. All right. So your blood pressure is simply the pressure needed to move blood through your pipes, which are your arteries. All right. So if those pipes get stiff or they're swollen or they're narrowed, then your heart has no choice but to have to work harder to pump that blood. And once you understand that, then your numbers start to make sense. Okay, so inside your body, you have two major forces that are controlling your blood pressure. Okay, number one, inflammation, and number two, insulin. All right, so let me explain it in a simple visual for you. All right, when your inflammation is high, your blood vessels get puffy and rigid. And when your insulin is high, your blood vessels tighten, kind of like a clenched fist. All right. So if you put those two together, then your heart is basically trying to push blood through a straw. All right. So even if you feel fine, your vessels are struggling behind the scenes. So let me explain a little bit deeper of what's going on with insulin and inflammation. Okay. Insulin's job is to help move sugar out of your blood into your cells, right? It takes the nutrients to the cell, and insulin acts like the key that opens the receptor to allow those nutrients in. That's normal, okay? But when insulin is high all the time, it starts to affect your blood pressure in a few different ways. So first of all, high insulin tells your kidneys to hold on to more salt and water. All right. And that extra fluid in your system means more volume for your heart to push, which raises your pressure in your arteries. All right. Scientists have seen this connection clearly in people with insulin resistance and obesity. I'm curious to know if you have ever been told that you have insulin resistance or that you're obese, and you don't have to be embarrassed. I was definitely in the obese category. Just put in the comments, insulin resistant, obese, whatever your doctor has told you. All right. Second, high insulin cranks up your sympathetic nervous system. Okay. And that's that fight or flight wiring that makes your heart beat faster and your blood vessels tighten. Okay. So that extra nervous system activity is another reason that blood pressure climbs when insulin stays high. And then the third thing that insulin has direct effects on your blood vessels is because in a healthy body, insulin helps your vessels relax by increasing nitric oxide. All right. Nitric oxide is a natural vasodilator that, believe it or not, you create in your own body. You have the fountain of youth living inside of the lining of your blood vessels. It's called your endothelium. All right. But when you become insulin resistant, the relaxing side stops working well, and the tightening side is still active. So that shifts things more towards the vasoconstriction, which leads to higher blood pressure. All right, so that's the three things about insulin. All right, now I'm going to talk about inflammation. All right, inflammation damages the lining of your arteries and it makes them stiffer over time. Your endothelium stops making enough nitric oxide. It starts producing more of the sticky molecules and more vasoconstrictors. And that combination makes the arteries less stretchy. They become more narrow. They're angry. All right. So stiff and swollen arteries and having that higher fluid volume that I talked about and more of that fight or flight, that means that your heart has to push harder just to get blood to where it needs to go. The great news is that this is also why weight loss and eating real food help so much. When you lose even a small amount of weight and you calm your insulin with having fewer eating windows, research shows that blood pressure drops partly because your insulin sensitivity improves. We all want to be insulin sensitive. We don't want to be resistant to insulin. We want to be sensitive to it. And your nervous system relaxes. So when we focus on real food, fewer eating windows, and lowering inflammation, we're not just dieting, okay? We're literally changing the signals that your kidneys and your nerves and your blood vessels are getting all day long. And fortunately, weight loss helps reduce blood pressure quickly. So you don't need to lose 20 pounds to see a change in your blood pressure. Truthfully, you don't even need to lose 5 pounds. All right. The moment that you start eating real food and you shorten your eating windows, your inflammation will start to fall. Your insulin will start to calm down, and those vessels will soften and relax, often within days. And this is why so many people inside of this group have told me, my blood pressure went down before I even went down a whole size. Your body responds to better habits way before the scale catches up. So I want to talk about some practical steps that you can start doing right away today to help your blood vessels exhale and just relax. Okay. Number one key is no processed foods. You want real food. Okay. And you definitely want to get rid of sugar. If you are eating ultra processed, sugar loaded foods, you are going to have inflammation and your insulin is going to stay high. Okay. Eating real food lowers inflammation almost immediately. All right. You also want fewer eating windows. Okay. When you stop grazing all day long, I know that that's what we've been taught. I was taught you have to eat breakfast, then a snack, then lunch, then snack, then dinner, then snack. Eat every 2 hours, eat 6 small meals. Okay. That's a bunch of bunk. All right. If you stop that, your insulin has a chance to drop. And then that lower insulin leads to the relaxed vessels, which leads to better blood pressure. Hydration is key. Okay. When you're dehydrated, your blood actually gets thicker. So your heart has to push harder. But a well-hydrated body is a calmer body. The next thing is cut off your food in the evening. Okay. If you're eating late, I know it's hard. I know if you're in a family with a spouse who snacks at night while you're finally getting to sit down and watch TV together, it's not easy. But eating late keeps your insulin high when it should be low before you're going to bed. And your blood pressure naturally rises at night That's when you're the most inflamed. Inflammation, natural inflammation, starts building from the moment you step out of bed in the morning. So by the evening, you are the most inflamed. So if you stop eating early, it really helps. When I was losing 120 pounds, I initially made my cutoff 6:30 p.m. I found the earlier I moved that, the quicker I lost weight, the more healthy I became. And I ended up doing 2 meals a day. I would eat my first one between 10 and 11 in the morning, and my second one between 4 and 5 in the evening. And it makes a huge difference. All right. And then the fifth final tip today is get better sleep. All right. Even just one bad night of sleep can raise both your insulin and your inflammation. Now, I've watched people bring their blood pressure down just from changing when and what they eat. One person messaged me after only a week of eating real food and spacing her meals, giving her body that time to let insulin come down and reducing her inflammation. And her blood pressure had dropped 15 points. All right. Another person messaged me and said, I couldn't believe it, but I checked 3 days in a row and it just kept going down. Many of my clients in my Real Health Resolvers group have been able to get off blood pressure medication. All right. Once they implemented the guidelines that we follow in that group, their bodies responded quickly. It's super important, though, that you do talk to your doctor about reducing your blood pressure medication, because as you begin to apply these techniques I'm talking about, you are going to need to decrease that medication. Dr. Sears, who I'm certified through as a certified health coach, he calls it the pills and skills model of health. In other words, the more that we improve our lifestyle skills, the less need we have for those pills. So I would love it if you're watching live or you're watching on the replay and you've been able to bring your blood pressure down to a normal range by following the guidelines that I've been mentioning. Please share your story in the comments. It'll help inspire others. It'll make them recognize this is not magic. Okay. These stories are not magic. They're biology. This is science. All right. And if you're sitting here thinking, I want to know exactly how to calm my insulin and exactly what foods will bring inflammation down and exactly how to create a rhythm that I can actually stick to. That's the key, guys. I have spent my life battling my weight. I've lost over 100 pounds 2 other times. Both times I gained it back plus more. My passion now that I've kept 120 pounds off for over 5 years is to help you all recognize you can be healthy. You can lose weight. You can keep this weight off. All right. Every week inside of this Beyond Keto group, I'm going to be going live and breaking down health topics just like this in a way that will finally click for you. So if you're brand new here, I'd love for you just to say hi in the chat, in the comments. Let me know that you're watching. I can see some new names in here. Oh, good. I see Ladine is watching live. Others, if you're in here and you have experienced a change in your blood pressure since implementing what I teach, please share your stories. All right. And if something in today's session maybe clicked for you, I would love for you to tell me which part, what made sense to you. Tell me your aha moment, okay? Because your blood pressure is not your enemy, all right? Your body is just asking for relief, and real food gives your body the relief that it's looking for, okay? Your heart does not need perfection. It just needs a different environment. And you can start creating that new environment today. And if you're watching and you're thinking, I want to learn more than just the basics. I want real support. I want real accountability. I want the full plan to help my body repair from the inside out. I want to invite you to join me inside of my Real Health Resolvers group. Inside that group, we go deeper, okay, than what I'm able to cover here in the Beyond Keto group. We work on meal timing. You're given a toolkit for success that has a grocery list, approved food list, the specific guidelines we follow. We talk about inflammation reduction, insulin balancing, real food habits, creating a sustainable lifestyle. And the community is like nothing I've ever seen. We had in our group last night, I had planned one topic and completely shifted gears and just kind of did a heart to heart talk with my clients. And they responded in a way that literally brought me to tears. This community stands by each other, holds each other accountable, encourages one another, right? And this is for people who truly want to transform their lives. This is not a diet group, okay? These are people who are transforming their blood pressure, they're increasing their energy, they're focused on long-term health. None of us are in this because we want to become bikini models. Okay, we're in it because we want to be healthy. We want to be there for our kids and for our grandkids. There's no hype, there's no quick fixes. I chased all of the quick fixes. I did about every diet plan you can imagine. When you join Real Health Resolvers, you will have guided support. You'll have proven strategies and a community that will back you. And we're all doing the same thing together. So if you're ready to take the next step toward real lasting change, just comment RHR. That stands for Real Health Resolvers. Okay. And you will not have any pressure from me. I promise. I am not a salesperson. My passion is to help people lose weight. I'll just send you a link. It'll share more information about Real Health Resolvers, and it's the perfect place for those who are serious about heart health, about metabolic balance, and truly feeling in control of their bodies again. So I would love to welcome you in. Just comment RHR and I will get that link over to you. If anybody does have questions, whether you're watching live or on the replay, put it in the comments here in our Beyond Keto group, and I will make sure I go back through those and check the comments. All right. Thank you guys for being here. I hope this was helpful. I hope it gave you some tips to just get started. You can do this. Have a great afternoon, and I will see you all next Wednesday with a new topic. All right. Take care.